So, namaste. Welcome, everyone. Happy to have you here joining us for this lecture and webinar by Yoga Master Balakia. And today we are Balakia is going to speak about the topic of 10 guidelines for a successful and happy relationship. So, my name is Ruben, and I'm among the people who are organizing this event. As Yoga Meditation.stream. So, yeah. Anyway, very nice to see you, and I think Balakia Das is here as well. So I'd like to warmly introduce you to Balakia Das and welcome Balakia. Thank you for joining us today.
Namaste, Ruben. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Looks like you're in a very beautiful location.
As always.
As always. Yeah. Where are you in northern Norway, right? Up around Tromsø somewhere?
2 hours from Tromsø now.
Yeah, great.
Close to Finland.
Looks beautiful. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. And like Ruben said, our topic is relationships. We'll get into that in some depth. But before I begin, I'd like to offer my respects to my spiritual masters, Siddhasarupananda Paramahamsa and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami. And I always like to make it clear that I speak from the platform of Bhakti Yoga, which is the basic teachings of the Vedic scriptures. In other words, Bhakti Yoga includes all other yoga systems philosophically, and that's the ultimate guideline to anything we do in life. So, that being said, I would also like to begin the program with an easy meditation that we can all take part in. And it is also a key activity in the Bhakti Yoga process. And it's called mantra meditation, and the technique is called Gauranga breathing. Now, mantra meditation is pretty self-explanatory. We meditate on mantras. And mantras are transcendental sounds. That means spiritual sounds. They do not originate in the material world. They originate in the spiritual world and descend into this material world. Because they come from the spiritual realm, they bring with them great spiritual power. And therefore, when we come in contact with this transcendental sound vibration, automatically we receive great spiritual benefit. So it's the easiest of all meditations, but at the same time, the most effective. Now, the mantra for this meditation is the mantra Gauranga. And we divide Gauranga into 4 syllables, Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. So here's the technique. First, we inhale through the nose slowly and gently, but also very deeply. Take the air all the way down to your lower abdomen. And as we inhale silently in the mind, we will chant Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. When we chant in the mind, we want to chant very softly and gently. Now, gradually the body fills with air, and then we begin to exhale. And out loud we chant, Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. And then we repeat. And again, when you chant out loud, let it also be gentle. Don't force anything. Don't put any big stress into it. Just let it flow out. Now, before we begin the meditation, we want to relax. Relaxation is so important in life. Not only are we going to focus on relaxing the body, face, neck, shoulders, chest, etc., but we also want to relax the mind. let the mind relax. So to assist us in doing this, we're going to take a big breath in through the nose and let it back out through the nose. With the outgoing breath, let your anxiety, tension, frustration go away. Then while we do the meditation, we want to listen very closely to the sound and also put the mind on the sound. Meditate on the sound. During the meditation, I suggest you close your eyes. Number one, this helps us to relax more deeply, and also it prevents distraction. And when we finish the meditation, just sit quietly for a few moments, eyes remaining closed, and feel the effect, the calm, the inner peace. Okay, so everybody get comfortable. Sit in a comfortable position, eliminate as much distraction around you as possible, and just follow my guidance. Everybody take a big breath, let it out, and relax. Now very slowly, gently and deeply inhale and chant Gauranga in the mind. Go 2 more times. Haribol. All right. So you can see it's very easy meditation to do and also very relaxing. And it's an excellent way to begin the day. It's also an excellent way to end the day. But of course, you can do it anytime. So add it to your life. We're always encouraging people to do this. You see, it's amazing, it works, but if you don't do it, it doesn't work. All right, so thank you very much again for coming, and I'd like to make it clear all the information I will be presenting is based on the teaching of the Vedic scriptures, which are the most ancient scriptures of all, written down 5,000 years ago, but this eternal knowledge has been passed down since time immemorable through a line of perfect masters known as a disciplic succession or parampara. A parampara is necessary for the truth to descend in its pure form. We are in the parampara known as the Brahma Sampradaya, and we feel very fortunate to receive our knowledge through this lineage. So this is not my opinion. I'm just passing on this eternal science. So the topic again for today is 10 guidelines for successful and happy relationships. Now, life is basically nothing but a series of relationships. Starts in the womb. We have a relationship with the mother before we even come out. And then once we appear, the relationships start building. Of course, the relationship with dad was there even before mom. But we just build and build, brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and grandparents, and gradually it expands and expands and expands. You know, friends, and on it goes. See, business associates, and then we have the relationships, you know, based on where we're born, in what country, you know, or what race we might be, or whatever. You see, in other words, that's what we do all day, every day, somehow, is deal with the relationships. See, and it can be quite challenging. It can also be quite nourishing. It can be wonderful. It can be all over the place, depending on the relationship. So that's why it's very important to know how to approach a relationship that will be successful and result in happiness. So, being a student of the Vedas, I always have to begin where the Vedas begin in presenting their wonderful knowledge. And that's the idea of identity. If you watch any of our previous webinars, you've heard this before, but we know every week some new people come who have not heard it, and it's good to hear it often because we hear the opposite of this particular truth again and again and again, from birth till the grave. So the idea is we are not our material bodies. We are actually the life force in the body. Now, when we're in the body's called alive. But actually, this is not true, because we are not the body. See, the body is our house, our residence, our vehicle. And we are the life that brings it so it can move, it can think, it can will. All the things that take place in life are because of us. So we're not our material bodies, but unfortunately we identify ourselves as being that body, you know. And this is causing many, many problems. And it causes many problems in relationships. It's such illusion, you see. It's not true. So our whole life is based on this illusion. I am this body, you see. If my body is white, oh, I'm Caucasian. If my body is black, oh, I am Negroid. Oh, if my body is something else, you know, that's what I am. You see, I identify like this, and therefore I see differences. When I see another person, I'm always looking at their body, and I'm judging them or thinking about them or placing them in a category accordingly. So it makes for a lot of division, see, which is the problem. See, the world is so divided today on all different levels, you know, racial levels, gender levels, national levels, political levels, and on and on and on it goes, you see. And therefore, what happens as a result? Conflict. Conflict, competitions, you know, judgments, criticisms, you know, one-upmanship, and so on and so on. Doesn't make for a happy relationship. Doesn't make for a successful relationship, you know. So we need to learn what a real relationship is. So we have our physical body, the one we see and make all these judgments, you know, put person in a category immediately. And we also have another body, subtle mental body. This is called the astral body in the yoga teachings. And we've heard of the astral body probably if you've read any kind of esoteric literature or yoga literature. It's a second material body made of subtle material energy. The external body is made of gross material energy. So really we have two coverings, the gross and the subtle. The subtle, the body of the mind, the astral body, see. Excuse me. This is where we experience our emotions, our desires, our sentiments, our feeling, our will, you know, the deeper stuff. This is what is involved in making the judgment about the external body of another person. But it's still a covering. It's not us. So we learn that we are in a completely different category of energy. See, the two bodies are referred to, gross and subtle, are material energy. We are spiritual energy, completely different category of energy. Everything is energy, but there's two components, material and spiritual. So they have different characteristics. Material energy is temporary. That's why the body is so temporary. Doesn't last very long. We're trying to change that which is unchangeable, make it last forever. But nobody succeeds because the nature of matter is it's temporary. See, everything comes and goes. Whereas spirit is the opposite, eternal, no beginning and no end. You see, so really we are eternal. Then we learn that we are in the category of energy, which is living. Spiritual energy is living. Material energy is non-living. Dead matter, it's called. See? And again, easy to see. You know, something that's obviously matter, like this microphone, there's no life whatsoever. You see? But spirit is always living. So we're the life force in the body. And as long as we're in the body's called alive. But it's not true. The body is dead. We're alive ourselves. And that's why when we leave the body at the time of death, the body reveals its true nature. Can't even sit in a chair. Falls on the floor. So our true identity is spirit soul. Spirit meaning we're spiritual in essence. Soul meaning the individual spiritual spark that we eternally are. We never become someone else. We never cease to exist. So, we are spirit soul, and we further learn we're a part and parcel of the supreme soul. There is a supreme soul from which we all come. We are known as the Atma, and the supreme soul is the Paramatma. So this foundation of understanding is necessary to even approach the subject of relationships. You see? So, if I think I'm the material body, in general, my relationship will be based on my material body and my relationship with the other material body. See? All the gender relationships and the racial and on that we've just referred to before is based on the body, you know. And another point that is important to understand, as a spirit soul, I have inherent characteristics. That means those characteristics are always present. See? Like water. The inherent characteristic of water is wetness. You can't separate wetness from water. So, these inherent characteristics for us, the spirit soul, are always there. And one of those is to be happy. That's why everybody wants to be happy. And intuitively we know that the ultimate happiness, above the happiness of money and fame and whatever it is, success in this way and that way, and praise and whatever. Beyond all that is the happiness of a relationship. See? We know that. It's intuitive. You know, what is the greatest happiness for the baby? As soon as the baby is born. What is not only the happiness, but the necessity? A relationship with the mother. And it's not only about the milk. It's not only about her body being big and talented, can take care of my little incapable body. No. It's about the exchange of feeling, the love. See, they call it motherly love, you know. You know, it's an interesting thing. I don't want to get too far into any one part because time is limited. But to make a point, there was a scientific group who took baby monkeys away from the mother at birth, and they put them in a cage. They had sufficient food and water, and the temperature was right. Everything was conducive for them to be healthy and happy, except for one thing. They put them in the cage alone. No mother, no other monkeys. They even isolated them from all other people in human bodies and otherwise. And they did put a monkey in the cage, but it was a wooden monkey. And they observed what took place. And the little baby monkeys would go and cling to this wooden monkey and cry. And eventually all these baby monkeys went crazy. See? What was missing? Food, shelter, all that? No. Love was missing. The relationship with another living entity, another person. So that proves relationships are actually spiritual. All relationships are between two spirit souls. And again, you can see very easily, we don't have relationships with mannequins, you see. If a person leaves their body, that relationship terminates quite quickly. You see, the memories may be there. You remember the good times. You remember the exchange of love. The sadness is there, and so on. You miss the person dearly. But the relationship can't be like it used to be because now it's just a dead body. It's not a person any longer. So really, relationships are between two people. People meaning spirit souls. But when we identify with the body, we intuitively know that, but practically we act as if it is between the two bodies. That's why many times if a person's external appearance is not attractive or, it's in the wrong category of what I like, then I don't even develop that relationship. Or they're in its other category, see? So therefore, I have an attitude toward them, and I don't want a relationship with them. I mean, I read stuff in the paper. Nobody reads the paper. I see things on the news every day. So much bodily identification creating so many problems. You see, so much racial hatred. You don't even know this person. You got no idea if this person is a nice person, not a nice person, if you have anything in common, on other levels than the physical body. You don't know anything, but automatically you don't like them. But they're in that category. You see, this is no good. It's based on ignorance. It's based on illusion. And look at the difficulties it's causing in the world today. See, unbelievable. And this is not just today. It's been going on since time immemorable. Bodily identification leads to the opposite of what we're looking for, successful and happy relationships. You see? Even if the external appearance of the person is very attractive and they're in the right categories, all the categories I want people to be in, they're in it. You see, I'm only seeing the body. I'm not seeing the person really, And refer back to a few minutes ago, I say we all want to be happy. That's what we're expecting from a relationship. But if it's just this illusory, external, I am the body concept, then what am I going to see in that relationship? Sensual pleasure. That means I am going to exploit that person for my enjoyment. I want you to satisfy me. I'm the enjoyer, I am the sinner, and you are the object of my pleasure. And therefore, that leads to I'm even extra exploitative and try to steal the business away from the partner or cheat on the partner so I get more than he does. Whatever happens all the time. And that relationship turned from one a very close friend to enemy. See, our friends become our enemies very quickly. Just one little blip, and that's the result. This is unfortunate, but reality. And as far as, relationships on a more intimate level, say marriage relationships and so on, they are actually almost understood nowadays to be just a temporary thing. It's not going to last. I've heard people say that. Yeah, I got a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend, but, I know it's not going to last, but I'm enjoying it while it does, but like all the other ones, it'll end. It's just like understood. There's no real lasting happiness. There's no real success, So we got a problem because relationships are a source of happiness and pleasure. You see, this is what we're missing in life. So many kids are, in Great Depression now, young kids, in their teens, early teens, up to early 20s. See, so much depression. And it's unfortunate because, they're destroying their lives, they're committing suicide, they're taking a lot of drugs, and on it goes. And I read, and I see so many things, I forget, but it was in I know where it was. It's in one Central Asian country where there's so much suicide now among the young people. And so, of course, this is alarming to the authorities, so to speak. And they're trying to see, well, what's the reason? And many of these kids didn't successfully commit suicide, but did self-harm and so on. Said it's because my parents never spend any time with me. And the average time that parents spent with their young children in this country was 20 minutes a day. See? 20 minutes a day. And so, therefore, these kids just felt like, I'm not wanted, I'm not needed. They need that relationship with mom and dad. They don't have it. And so, the result is not good, Relationships make life, or late relationships break life, It can make you the most happy. It can destroy you completely, And these cheap relationships, there's no way they're going to really make you happy, Even if you're trying to pretend that person really loves me, they don't, you see. And usually that comes to light sooner or later. So, what to do about all this? Number one, we must begin to develop spiritual vision. We must begin to see people as who they are, spirit souls, not the material body, you see. This is a spirit soul. This is a person. I'm a person, see. So, in the Bhakti Yoga system, we're trained to begin to develop that kind of relationship. If you care about another person, it's not just about their body. I care about them because I'm attracted or attached to the physical. No, I care about them as a spirit soul. I want the best for them spiritually. Many parents try to substitute the parental love that they should have for the child with material goodies. I don't have time for that, real nurturing relationship. But I'll just buy them all the toys, and when they get older, I'll buy them bigger toys. I'll give them all the phones and devices and, the clothes they want and et cetera, et cetera. But that doesn't work. I mean, that's not the same. Many of these people are having all of these psychological problems, even to the extreme point of suicide, are from very wealthy homes in very affluent countries that have had anything and everything, and their life is worthless. It's empty. It's void. So, people say, "Oh, sensual pleasures is the source of happiness," and relationships on that basis will do it. It doesn't do it. Who isn't? Involved in some sensual pleasure from another person in these modern times, you see, with all restrictions removed, so you can basically exploit each other to the end, and it doesn't make anybody happy. It's empty. It's zero. So we have to come back to who we are. I, the spirit soul, need a loving relationship with another spirit soul. And then in the Bhakti philosophy, it doesn't leave it at that. That's true. It's absolutely true. But it's not the ultimate understanding of how to make it true. Because we are eternally a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. Remember I said we're the Atma? The Supreme Soul is the Paramatma. This is the eternal, original relationship of all relationships. If we want to make it a little more understandable, we can say that we are all children of the Supreme Lord. We are all children of the Supreme Father. See, and that relationship is eternal. It's always been there. It will always be there. This is the beginning of the source of real happiness and real satisfaction. But the problem is we've lost that relationship. We've forgotten that relationship. We've denied that relationship. It's there eternally, but completely unknown in most cases. And even if it's kind of known in the periphery of our mind and a little bit accepted, it's non-functional. It really has nothing to do with our life. So what we're trying to do is substitute all these relationships for that relationship. And that relationship is not based on material relationships as we know them now. See, if I'm a parent and I have a child, this is my son or this is my daughter. You see, this is a product of me. They are mine. See, this is false bodily identification again. You know, a spiritual understanding is this is not my son or my daughter. This is an eternal spirit soul that, due to karma and the arrangement of nature and the arrangement of the Supreme, they have appeared in my life in this position of son or daughter, and I am their biological mother or father, and my responsibility to them is to awaken them to their true identity, to let them know, as I teach them from birth, that you are not your body, you know. But what are we taught from mom and dad? You are your body. You're a boy, you're a girl, you know, you're an American, you're a Norwegian, you're this, you're that, you see. We're taught the opposite of that which is true. But a spiritually enlightened parent teaches the child from the beginning, you're not the body. Yes, you are in a body, and your body was born in Norway, so you will be known as Norwegian, you know, and you have to be in a male body, so you'll be known as a boy, and then later a man, or a girl, and later a woman, and on and on and on. But really, you're not that. This is your covering. This is your temporary residence. You are spirit soul. That's your eternal identity. You teach them these things, see? And you not only teach them philosophically, but you actually live that yourself. That's the relationship you establish. That's the relationship you maintain. That's the relationship you cultivate on a spiritual level. And you teach them to see other people like that. This is not your brother and sister, you know, this is your biological situation, but they're spirit souls too. They're your eternal brother and sister, you know, God brother, God sister, however you want to describe it. You let them know that. And this is not just a dog. This is a spirit soul in a dog body. Yes, he's our dog. He's the family dog, and we all love him, you know, but that's just his position right now. That's a spirit soul too. You enlighten them. You bring them into this world of truth, you see, and teach them don't base relationships only on the external. Try to go deeper, you see. And you teach them that love is the elixir of life. Without love, like the little monkeys, without the love of the mother, they couldn't survive. They died. But you take it past just, I'm your mom and I love you, and maybe you extend that love and they feel that, and it's very close and warm and nourishing, but you let them know, but this is just a tiny speck of the love of the Supreme Lord, our eternal Father, for us, for me, for you, for all of us. And you guide them in tapping into that love through a spiritual awakening. Mm? This is how you can have a successful and happy relationship that will last through time, and death does not stop this. You see, this continues on and on. See, I, the spirit, soul, am eternal. When I leave this body at the time of death, I do not cease to exist. So in this lifetime, if I've cultivated my loving relationship with the Supreme Lord, you see, this is still there. It doesn't end, you see. We've all had many, many, many lifetimes, and many, many mothers and fathers and children, and on it goes. We don't remember any of it. And now we're in this present situation. And we get so attached to this situation. And then that ends. And then we start all over again, getting attached, you know, and getting hearts broken and destroyed and whatever. See? Whereas these spiritual relationships carry on, you see. They carry on. So, a friend of mine, Tusta Krishna, he was expert in this knowledge, you know, a great purveyor of this truth. He taught it, he lived it, he understood it, and his life was truly successful, you see, and happy. He gave some guidelines for a successful and happy relationship. So I would like to just touch on the 10 points that he made, and he instructed those who wanted to have a relationship of success and happiness to actually implement these guidelines in their relationship. See? So it could be a marriage relationship, it could be a friendship relationship, it could be, you know, within the family relationship. It doesn't matter, you know. These guidelines apply across the board. So, number 1 is show respect. Show respect to the other person. See? Now respect has been lost, unfortunately, in many cases. There's no respect in a relationship. It's so self-centered. I don't respect you. I want what I want from you. You know, no respect. You know, they've got feelings too. You don't respect their feelings. They've got desires. You don't respect their desires. You know, it's all about your feelings and your desires. You know, it's just crippling. What kind of relationship can this lead to? But it's reality for many people. So, as I say, one of the things parents should do in their raising of the children is teach them respect. Very rare. Very rare is that being done now. If we weren't taught respect, if we don't have respect, how are we going to teach it to someone else? See? You know, in the old days, you know, when I was young, you know, in general, parents taught their children respect your elders, respect your parents, respect your teachers, respect each other, etc., etc. I mean, that's the way we were trained, you know. And it was a very, very valuable point, you know. So that's number 1. Show respect to the one you're in the relationship with. You may not agree with them, but you can respect their opinions. You may not have the same feelings they do, but you respect their feelings, you know, their ambitions, and so on. So, very valuable. Show respect. Number 2, be tolerant. Again, we've become such an intolerant race of humanity. You know, we're so intolerant of everything and everybody. You know, any little thing happens, we can't tolerate it. You know, it's with other people, it's with the weather, it's with the political climate, it's with whatever. You know, my situation as it is, I can't tolerate it. See, but in a relationship, tolerance is necessary. Nobody's perfect. No matter how perfect they may seem when you develop the relationship. Right away you start finding out they have imperfections. You see, ones that you didn't know about before you discover. See, but you're perfect. You have no problems yourself, no imperfections. We all do. So in a relationship, for it to be successful, we must be tolerant of each other, And if we have that spiritual connection, not hard. If we're basing it on the body, then we're not tolerant at all. Especially when that other person, physical body, mental body, when they're not providing me with the enjoyment that I anticipated, I become more and more intolerant. You see, marriages are destroyed simply over so minuscule, insignificant things. Why did you get divorced? Oh, because they squeezed the toothpaste from the middle. They're supposed to roll it from the bottom. They squeeze it in the middle. Oh, I can't stand it. Or he leaves the toilet seat up. You see, I go in there and sit down and fall in. I can't, Little insignificant, nothing things. But I'm just looking for an excuse. See, no tolerance. So we must be tolerant. But you can be tolerant if you're not. So you have to be receiving some happiness from another source than the external. See, the external's never going to be perfect, The weather's good one day, the weather's bad the next day. I can't tolerate the cold and the rain. See, it's always changing. See, but if I'm getting my happiness from a spiritual source, from my relationship with the Supreme, I can tolerate anything because that's not affecting me. That's not my whole life. You see, good times, bad times, yeah, I deal with them. But I'm always good because I'm on another platform. So tolerance has to be real. It can't be just grin and bear it kind of thing, because how long can you do that? Just bite your tongue and continue on. Maybe for a while, but it's not really real, So on these spiritual platforms of life, then these things which seem very difficult to accomplish become quite easy. Respect, automatically. Tolerance, it's always there, you see. Be supportive. When the relationships are going bad, a lot of times we go out of our way to not support. The other person, they need some support. Maybe it's in a decision they're making. Maybe it's in, whatever they're doing. And they need some support. And you go out of your way to not support them. Just to get in there. See, just to make it so they suffer a little bit. See. No good. Be supportive. If you're going to have a relationship, why not have it as a good relationship? See, what's the value of a bad relationship? So, again, be supportive. Maybe the support comes in good advice. Maybe it comes in encouragement. Yeah, you can do it. Don't worry. Have some faith, Don't be afraid. Whatever. But again, adding in spiritual insights that when are necessary need to be heard. Supportive. See, support their material situation and especially support them spiritually. See? Especially support them spiritually. Be understanding. See, as much as possible. Maybe you don't really understand why they're thinking like that, or why they're feeling like that, or why they're making that decision. But you try. You try to be understanding. You try to understand the other person, where they're coming from, But when we're so self-centered, we have no understanding of anybody else. You see, I don't even want to understand. I don't care. You know, very, very, you know, very bad results. You see, no good there. Be understanding. And again, as I say, if you've, begun to cultivate or advanced in the cultivation of this spiritual basis, you have advanced understanding. You can understand more. See, Supreme Lord in our main scripture, Bhagavad Gita, said, I give the understanding, by which people can come to me, by which people can also understand other people is included in that. You see. So, advanced understanding comes with spiritual advancement. Strive for perfection yourself, but don't expect it from the other. See? Yeah, strive for perfection yourself, but don't expect it from the other person. But usually it's the opposite. I don't strive for perfection at all, but I expect the other person to be perfect. See? The opposite. See? I should recognize my own faults, my own downfalls, my own imperfections, and try to make it better. You see, whether it's, getting angry or critical or judgmental or, intolerant or laziness or whatever. There's an unlimited list. Try to see our imperfections and work on that, but don't expect the other person to be perfect, And that also goes back to tolerance, you see, and respect and understanding. All these things are interconnected. It's not just like standalone. It's just points along the way of this big web of interconnected qualities that are necessary for a happy and successful relationship. Be encouraging. See, again, if you really like the other person, you want to see them successful. You want to encourage them, materially and spiritually, you see. But with spiritual vision and understanding, you're not going to encourage them to do things that will be detrimental to their life, see, materially and spiritually. If you're their real friend, if you want to help them, you're not going to encourage them to do things that will damage them, you see. You're going to encourage them to do things that will be beneficial for them, see. So, again, with vision and understanding and care and concern, this will be automatic, you see. You may encourage them not to do something that if they do that, it's not going to be a good result. They're going to pay a big price. They're going to suffer. It's going to disturb their life. So you encourage them, don't do that. So these things come with care. If you care about a person, you're going to be immediately inclined to act like that. Be slow to judge. Usually, again, it's the opposite. We judge immediately. Somebody walks in the room. We don't even know them. We've never seen them before, and we begin to judge them. They haven't said anything. We just look at them, and we begin to judge them. You see? Maybe they're wearing a particular kind of clothes. Oh, you already put them in a category, you see. And maybe their body looks a certain way. Oh, you're looking at that and judging that, you see. And on it goes. See, we're just immediately acting like that. See? No, wrong. Be slow to judge. See, judgment sometimes is necessary. Closing your eyes. See, looking with a blind eye is not always good. You see, you want to see, but you want to see clearly. Sometimes it's necessary to judge. But it's not critical judging just for the sake of judging. It's actually for the well-being of the other person, to see reality, to see maybe I can help this person because, they need some help in this way or that way. I can give them some advice. You see, this is as they call it, constructive judging or constructive criticism. Mm. But it's done with care. It's done with love. It's done with compassion. Mm. And it makes for a very nice relationship. Mm. Apologize when you are wrong, even if the other is more wrong. You see? Again, we're so arrogant and we're so self-centered that almost we refuse to apologize. We will not admit I'm wrong. See? We're always saying, you owe me an apology. Have you apologized? See? Do you feel you owe them an apology? And in almost all cases, you do. You see? And the guideline here is even if they're wrong, see, it may be more wrong than you, still apologize. Take the low position. Take the humble position. Be quick to apologize. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. I didn't mean to do that. Maybe something you said. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. It came out wrong, or I didn't really mean it. I don't know. It just happened. Whatever. Apologize immediately, quickly, and feel good about it, comfortable with that. But if you just sit there, I will not apologize. No, you apologize to me. I don't owe you apology. You owe me. See, this is arrogance. This is self-centered arrogance. So if you have, the other party following the same guidelines, then it'll be an apology contest. Please forgive me. No, please forgive me. No, please. No. No, you're okay. No. Good. That's nice. And be forgiving. Forgiveness is a whole subject in and of itself. All the great masters, Lord Jesus Christ, for instance, he prayed to his Father, Father, please forgive me as I forgive others, Forgive me my sins. Forgive me my trespasses. Forgive me my wrongdoings as I forgive other people. You see, we must be quick to forgive. But again, like in apologies, we hang on to maybe what we think somebody did us wrong, some offense somebody made to us, and we hang on to it maybe for a year, maybe for a whole lifetime. It's burning, it's cancer, it's eating us in the inside. See, we won't let it go. I will not forgive. We even make such a declaration sometimes. I will never forgive you. You see. And so we carry around this destructive internal feeling and let it just destroy us inside. Forgive other people. It doesn't mean you have to agree that what they did was right. It doesn't mean that. See, you don't have to accept everything that they did, but you forgive them for it. What they did to you, you forgive them. Now, some people say, oh, I forgive you for what you did to another person. But really, the person that it was done to has to forgive them. See, that's how it is. So, forgiving a person is very, very necessary. We've all been wronged. We're all, this world is like that. People are going to do things, against us. Say things, do things, break our hearts, difficult situations. But what good does it do to hang on to it? Carry it around with us? No, it's a huge destructive burden. Give it up. Let it go. And the more humble we are, the more, respectful we are, and so on, which comes from a spiritual, advanced position, then the more this is like automatic. The Supreme Lord is the most forgiving personality of all personalities. He forgives us unconditionally. See, we forgive people maybe under certain conditions. I will forgive you if, and then we have our conditions. You see? No, this is not real forgiveness. This is almost like business. You know, it's a contract kind of idea. It's not really forgiveness from the heart. You see, whereas the Supreme Lord and his great representatives are forgiving from the moment. As soon as the offense is made, they've already forgiven us. They take no offense. You see, this is how we should see this idea of forgiveness. So forgiving is necessary in any relationship. And what? Accept responsibility for your own misery. You know, we're miserable. It's declared in Bhagavad Gita by the Supreme Lord himself. This material world is a place of misery. It's designed, it has a specific design. It is not an accident. Every aspect of the material creation was done by design for a specific reason. There is not one accident anywhere. So, take responsibility for our own misery. The world is a place of misery. The way we act in this world brings about great suffering. And that's what we're experiencing many times, you know. But we want to blame it on somebody else, you know. It's because of them. I'm miserable because of them. I'm miserable because of that. You see? Not because of me, but really I'm responsible for my own misery. See? Many lifetimes we've been in this material creation. Many lifetimes we've been creating karma, reactions to our activities. And in this lifetime, we have brought karma into this present lifetime from previous lifetimes. And we've acted in this lifetime in such a way to create a lot of difficulties for ourselves. See? We're responsible for that. Don't blame somebody else. See? We're getting what we get according to what we have done. A person who has some spiritual understanding knows this, accepts this, and therefore has achieved great relief. See? Yes, I'm getting what I deserve. Maybe not be pleasant, but who's to blame but me? He's not running around pointing fingers at everybody else. You know, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. It's their fault. You know. So if we have relationships based on these guidelines, with spiritual understanding, spiritual vision, understanding we're spirit souls, the person that I'm relating to is a spirit soul. I respect them. I'm tolerant of their imperfections. I'm supportive and understanding, etc., etc., etc. You see, then it can be a real nice relationship. But even on that level, it can only go so far. Because what is missing is that eternal relationship with the Supreme Person. That relationship which brings about ultimate happiness and satisfaction for everybody, eternally. That is the relationship that makes all other relationships correct. It is the relationship that makes it so I am filled with love and can extend that love to others. Husbands, wives, children, business partners, friends, relatives, and on and on. See? All living entities. The Supreme Lord loves all living entities. If I'm a reservoir, or not a reservoir, he's the reservoir. If I'm a receptacle for that love, then I can begin to love other living entities also. You see? That's what a relationship should be based on. Real spiritual love. All these relationships of love in this world, you know, that turn into hate very quickly, That's not love. See, that's lust. Lust means I want from you. I want what you have to offer. See, that's not love. That's why it turns bitter. See, the flip side of lust is hate. You know, I love you, I hate you. See, and that's what we know, right? So these guidelines are so wonderful, so perfect, you know. And the final statement by my friend was, and above all, be humble and compassionate. See, be humble and compassionate. And put your spiritual master and God first. That's first. See? Put God first. That's what Jesus said. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, the entire being. Second is like unto it, love thy neighbor as thyself. First love God, then love your neighbor. First love God, then love your wife. First love God, then love your children. Then love your friends. Then love your relative. Then love everybody. See? The person who's in that position has no enemies. In this world, it's all about friends and enemies. Oh, you're my friend because of the way you are. You're in this category, or you've done me a good deed, or you know, I like your personality. We share a lot in common. I'm your friend. And this person, you know, they've offended me. They're going against what I want to do. They're whatever. That's my enemy. See, it's all about friends and enemies in this world. And that's not good. There's no real happiness and peace there. So, on the spiritual platform, we can find all the perfection. That's where the perfection is. In the material world, there's no perfection. You know, it's all imperfect. Just the temporary nature of the material world is an imperfection. You see, it's not an imperfection really because it's designed like that. But for the eternal spirit soul, it's an imperfection. The temporary nature of my material body is an imperfection to my desire to live forever. I want to live forever, which means I don't want to die, right? But the material body is designed to end. And I got to leave it. That's called death. And that's why I'm in such anxiety about dying. You know, I don't want to leave this body. It's me. I don't want to die. You don't die. You see. So the world is it's a perfect place by design, but it's an imperfect place for the spirit soul. It's like prison. Prison is a perfect designed place, but it's not a perfect place to live. It's a hellish place to live. You see. So the idea in the prison is don't go there. All right, you're in prison. Then the idea is get out. And when you get out, don't come back. So that's the idea of life in the material world. We're here, so we can't uphold the first part. Don't go there. We're already here. It's too late for that. See? But we can get out and go back to the perfect world. See? But we can make this world perfect by entering into that spiritual platform of love for the Lord, service to the Lord, and love for all other living entities. Seeing them as spirit soul, not the material body. You see? And from all of that comes respect, comes care, comes compassion, comes tolerance and understanding, and supportiveness and all the qualities that make for a really, really good relationship. See? And if we have those relationships, they carry on past death. Okay, so let's have a little Sankirtan now. We only have a few minutes, but we will have a quick little Sankirtan. I'm going to chant with the guitar, and you listen, then you respond, and I will listen, okay? I have a few friends here. They'll be responding to my chanting, and you can chant along with them, okay? And Ruben and his friends will be chanting there. So, yeah. The mantra will be Goranga, we've already learned, and Hari Bol. Goranga and Hari Bol. Whatever I chant, you just repeat it. And try to relax and meditate on the sound. Goranga. Everybody. Goranga. 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 Hare Bo. Haribo. Haribo. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Haribo Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Haribol, Haribol. All right, that meditation is called Sankirtan. And easy to do, get together with friends. And this is how you can have a really good relationship. Come together and chant these mantras. See, this is a spiritual connection. Doesn't matter where you're from and what your background is, or race, or sex, or national, nothing. Just come together and chant the mantras and develop a relationship around this activity, and it will make you very happy. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. Ruben, thank you very much for your invitation and arrangements. And good Lord willing, we'll be back next week. So thank you very much. Ruben can give you any information he wants to pass on about, what they're doing exactly in Norway. And take these mantras and these ideas with you. See, contemplate, think about it. Maybe something there is something you can relate to and, add to your life. All the best. Namaste. Haribol.
Namaste. Thank you very much, Balakiya Das. Thank you so much for coming, and thank all of you for joining out there. In 2 weeks' time, we will have a question-answer follow-up with Balakiya Das again, where you can gather up the questions that you have from this topic or any other topic. And next week, next Sunday, we will hold a Yoga Sound Sunday with Balakiya. This is a very relaxing music and Guranga breathing session where we will be live chanting back to Balakiya as well. So you can join us for that one as well. So yeah, wherever you are in Norway, especially, we have online things going on like this and more activities. Offline classes we have regularly in Tromsø, Trondheim, and in Oslo. So if that's where you are, please just get in contact with us and we will send you more information. Yeah. So very nice to have you join, and I hope to see you very soon again. Namaste and thank you.